Good evening, everyone. I believe that we are live right now on 3 different entities. We're going to be testing a whole bunch of things tonight, and I've got news for you about some new and exciting things that we're going to be doing for the winter season in the way of vintage snowmobiles on the Vintage Snowmobile Lovers Facebook page. Also, we have some companion properties. As you can see on the top of the screen there, I have another Facebook group as well as a YouTube channel titled Wheels, Keels, and Snowmobiles. I'm airing on there as well, live. In fact, I'm going to check that right now to make sure that I am live as we speak on YouTube. And there are links to all of this in the description if you wanted to check out my YouTube page, my YouTube channel, as well as the Wheels, Keels, and Snowmobiles Facebook group. And I apologize here. I'm trying to check and make sure that I'm live while I'm talking to you. Make sure that everything is working properly. I don't see myself on YouTube yet. And once I get this all squared away here, I'm going to have some new developments and things to be telling you about. But I'm just trying to make sure that I'm going live everywhere that I'm supposed to be. If you can see my face and if you can hear my voice, I'm going to ask you to make a comment. Leave a comment if you would. Also, one of the things we're going to be doing in a few minutes is a live show and tell. I want to see if it's technically possible to do this. If you could attach an image in the comment section, an image of your vintage snowmobile with a few comments about it. I'm going to see if I can put that up on the screen. And it does look like I'm live on the Wheels, Keels, and Snowmobiles Facebook group. And if you wanted to check out all this stuff, links are in the description. I'm just trying to get everything set up here. Then I'm going to start telling you about all of the new developments. I'm not seeing myself on the YouTube channel just yet, but maybe I just don't know what I'm doing here to see that. But yes, if you can see my face and hear my voice, I will ask you to make a comment in the description. Just say hello and let me know where you're viewing this from. I don't know. I'm not seeing myself on YouTube, but we're going to continue just the same. Starting to see some comments here. Doug Jackson, how you doing, Doug? Thanks for checking in. Jeremy and Eric McFadden up there in the Great White North. Hey there, Eric. So I'm glad that everyone can see my face here and hear my voice. This is all kind of new to me. I've done a little bit of broadcast on TV and radio, but not enough that I would say I'm this polished pro. So this will develop. My skills will develop as I do this, but I've got some cool things to show you tonight. Where do we begin? I wonder if someone could attach an image of your vintage snowmobile. If you're viewing this, if you could attach an image of your vintage snowmobile so that I could have a look at that. Frank Falcone is here from Houston, Texas. Dave McCullough from upstate New York. Outstanding. Yeah, if you guys could attach an image of a vintage snowmobile, I'm going to see if I can put that on the screen for all of us to enjoy. Because my idea with this, we've got 52 people viewing too, by the way, which is wonderful. Thanks for being on. My idea with this is to try to do some kind of a live show and tell, because I believe I have the technology. If you guys are able to share an image of your vintage snowmobile in the comment section, I think I can pull it up on the screen for all of us to see. And if you've got some details about the sled, we can all enjoy it and ask questions and have kind of an interactive show and tell session. That's one of my goals with this. I've got some other cool goals too. I've got some people to interview lined up, and I've got a video I'm going to show you, several videos I'm going to show you actually. But what I'd really like right now, if you guys possibly can, is if someone could attach an image of a vintage snowmobile in the comment section on the Vintage Snowmobile Lovers Facebook page, and I'm going to try to pull that up on the screen so that we can all enjoy it. I want to see if it's technically possible to do that. I believe that it is. And if we can do that, this would be a great way to do some live real-time show and tell of vintage snowmobiles, and we can all share images of our vintage snowmobiles, and ask questions about them, comment on them, and just have a real-time conversation. And this is a great way to pass the time during COVID-19. So yeah, if someone is able to attach an image of a vintage snowmobile, I'm going to see if I can pull it up so that we can all enjoy it. If you could just attach that in the comment section, anyone who's got an image of a vintage snowmobile. In the meantime, I'm going to scroll down and see if I can find another one attached to another post, just to test this technology, make sure that we can do it. And I'm just scrolling here looking for an image to do that with. And of course, running this podcast, it's making my computer run a little slow, so it's taking me a minute. But let me switch the banner while we're waiting on that. So yeah, we're going to try to do some virtual show and tell. If you're just joining me, what I'd like someone to do is attach an image of a vintage snowmobile into the comments section of this so that we can all look at it and comment on it and ask questions. And as you're attaching the image of that vintage snowmobile, maybe make a few comments about it, the year, make, model, any kind of details about it, and trying to find an existing image on a post so I can see if we can actually do this. This is all new to me, this live podcast thing. No, that won't work. All right, my computer's running awfully slow here. Well, let's go back up and see if anyone has attached an image. Oh, it won't let you. Dennis says it won't let you. And hi, Danny Groman. Now, Dennis, are you viewing this on the Vintage Snowmobile Lovers Facebook page? So this is all new. We're trying something new here. So we're going to expect bugs to be happening and unpredictable things, and we expect it to be a bumpy ride. But if we can get through this and find a way to do some real-time show and tell, I think we can all have a really good time with this. Let me pull up another image and just see if I can add this live. How do we do that? Invite. Oh, share screen. Okay. Sorry, this is all new to me, like I said. But if I can work the bugs out of this, I think we can all have a lot of fun with this. So I'm going to try to share an image, and I'm going to make it full screen. I can also do this with it. If I can also do that. So this is just a random image on the Vintage Snowmobile Lovers Facebook page. And what I'm trying to do, Mike Hoffman needs a beer. I hear that. Mike Hefferman, I apologize for mispronouncing your name. Hey there, Jeff. Peter Ouellette, how you doing? How do you attract pics? I'm not sure quite what you mean by that, but I know that I'm trying to do that very thing right now. If someone is able to, in the comment section of this video that we're watching right now, if someone can add, maybe from your cell phone or from your computer, if you can add an image of a vintage snowmobile, I'm going to try to pull it up on the screen just like what we have here, and you can see me scrolling around, taking a look here, trying to find said picture. And then once we get that figured out, then I've got some cool stuff to tell you about. But I'm scrolling through here trying to find an image in a comment section of a post that I can put up here. I know lots of people leave them, but trying to find one on demand like this when the pressure's on, then we get kind of a Murphy's Law thing going. So here's one. Okay, let's see if we can fill the screen with this. Okay, so we could have, theoretically, if we can figure out how people can add images in the comment section of this, we can do a live show and tell like this, where we can look at people's sleds in real time, and we can ask questions, and have a real good time. We could probably pass an hour or so doing that if enough people are watching and enough people are sharing images of their snowmobiles. So has anyone else been able to attach an image? Or is anyone else trying to? I know Dennis said it won't let him. I'm wondering if anyone else has attempted to do it, so we could find out. Well, is it just something that that he's having trouble with, or is it something with the system? So I want to see if maybe it's just something going on Dennis's side, where it's making it not possible for him to add an image, or if no one else can do it either. That will tell us whether it's a systemic thing or if it's just maybe something on Dennis's side. But yeah, if someone could add an image of a vintage snowmobile, we can get a little show and tell thing going, and we can have a real good time. And I've got some announcements for you as well. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. While we're waiting to see if someone can attach an image, I'm going to give that a few more minutes. Let's look at a video. This is another thing that we can do. This is another one of the possibilities here. Let me set up this video that we can view this video together. Right here. So this is a video we're going to watch. This was from a vintage snowmobile show that I hosted a couple of years ago during the summer of 2018. So let's watch this video together. Let me pump up the volume a little so we can hear him. This is our good friend, Bud Gordon.
And this is a 1967 Snowjet Model 300. The model number comes from the CC of the engine. It's a 300cc, 15 horsepower.
And it's choking on me. It's because I was trying to remove that banner. I apologize. Let's see if we can resolve this choking issue. This is all new stuff. Here we go.
This sled came, not only were they built in Canada back in the day, but this one was restored up in Canada and brought into the U.S. by a collector up in Turner, Maine. And I bought it from him a couple of years ago when he was selling out his collection. Like I said, it's been restored. It's an older restoration, but fairly decent job on it. These sleds were, I don't want to say a handful, but you had to ride them. They're very tippy, but they would go through the snow pretty good, and they were a blast to throw around. This was actually the third year of Snowjet production. Snowjet started producing sleds in 1965, and that year only about 24 were produced. In 66, only 300 Snowjets were imported to the United States. In 67, it was more of what we probably consider a normal run. And there was a pretty good run of these. And as the years went by, Snowjet grew not only in Canada, but the U.S. And there's a lot of people around, and Snowjets have gained a lot of traction in the hobby. Become a desirable sled.
Okay, we're back. We're just experimenting with some of the live possibilities we have. I'd like to try to do a weekly show where we're doing some cool live stuff like this, where we're looking at videos and we're doing. Oh, this video is starting again here. Let me shut that down.
This is a 19.
We can do some live show and tell. We can share some videos. There's a whole host of things that I believe we can do, and some live interviews. Another thing that I'm really hoping to do, and I've got a few people I'm lining up with this. I've got couple of friends who have either a man cave filled with vintage snowmobiles or people who do restorations, that sort of thing, that I want to do live podcasts with them from their cell phone. Now, if you have a smartphone with a Chrome browser, we can conceivably do that. Not tonight, but we could do on a future podcast. We'd have to plan it ahead of time. But by emailing back and forth, we could arrange that you could be on a live podcast and do a live presentation of your vintage snowmobiles, whether it's in a garage or a man cave or outside, wherever you got them set up. We could do live podcasts of people doing kind of a show and tell of their vintage snowmobile in real time, live in real time from your basement or your garage. And we could do interviews. And if people are interested in advertising in this is an option as well. I had a banner for that. I can't find it now. Anyway, but yeah, if someone is interested in advertising on this, I'm planning to do this on a weekly basis, and between the organic traffic that it generates and using paid campaigns on Facebook, I can get this out to at least 25,000 people. So a video has been seen by 25,000 people, vintage snowmobile enthusiasts. And if you're an advertiser, if you have any kind of product or service or anything like that, this is a great way to get it in front of a lot of people. And I can guarantee that many views, and going to do it at a fairly reasonable rate. So if you or anyone you know has a product or service that might lend itself well to something like this, it's a great way to do it. And we can promote your product or service live in real time via your cell phone, via the camera on your cell phone, and do a live walk around, like a tour of your facility, a tour of your shop, a tour of your product in real time with you on your cell phone, just kind of talking it up and walking around it. So a lot of possibilities here. And I thank everyone who's on here right now for staying on here. And I'm checking to see if anyone has been able to successfully add an image of a snowmobile, and I'm not seeing one. So I'm wondering if maybe there's an issue. Let me go back in the comment section here. Glenn Pinkham says he's got a Kawasaki collection for sale in Farmington, Maine. He's got a 1980 LTD 4/6. He's got a 79 Invader, a 78 Intruder, and tons of parts to go with. And he's got a price of $2,500. I don't know if it's $2,500 each or for all three of them. That's something you can ask him by calling him. This is in the state of Maine, area code 207-491-5323. That's some Kawasaki snowmobiles, 1978, 79, and 80 in the state of Maine, the state o' Maine. Call Glennon at 207-491-5323. If any of you have sleds for sale, we can do this same kind of thing as part of a show and tell, and do kind of a live way to share information of parts and snowmobiles and things like that for sale. It says there's no icon for pictures. Okay, yeah, thank you, Dennis. So I'm going to have to look into that and see what's going on with that, why we're not able to add a photograph. In the meantime, if someone wants to try attaching one in an email, you can send one, to my email account, vintagesnowmobilelovers@gmail.com. And I think I've got a banner for that. I don't, but in the description of this podcast, there should be a link that shows my email address. And I'm looking to check if that is the case. Yes, down near the bottom in the comment section to contact me about being a guest on a future podcast, or if you're curious about advertising on my podcast, send me an email, vintagesnowmobilelovers@gmail.com. I'm going to check that account right now, see if anyone has sent me an image. And I got someone trying to call me on my cell phone. If someone has sent me an image on the email, I can try to pull it up that way in the meantime while we're figuring out this technology. But I would love for us to be able to do a live show and tell. Great way for people to promote snowmobiles and parts. And if someone has got a vintage snowmobile event on the horizon, this is a great way to let people know about that. And if you have an event that you'd like me to promote on this podcast, send me an email at that address, vintagesnowmobilelovers@gmail.com, and I'll promote your vintage snowmobile event at no charge on this podcast. And yeah, I'm going to start winding it down, I think. I'm kind of disappointed that there's not a way for people to add images in the comment section of this video, because that would really open up some possibilities for us to be able to do some live show and tell. Perhaps there's another way to do it. Maybe there's a setting that's off or something. I'd love to hear from someone other than Dennis who's tried to attach some images so I can find out if it's just something on Dennis's end or if it's something that's going wrong here on Facebook that's preventing us from doing it. Now, Dennis, are you viewing this? Or I just answered my own question. You're viewing this on Vintage Snowmobile Lovers and not on the Wheels, Keels, and Snowmobiles Facebook group, because Vintage Snowmobile Lovers is where you made the comment. But for those of you who want to view and post anything with a motor for sale, this would be cars, trucks, boats, ATVs, snowmobiles, anything like that, motorcycles, anything with a motor. If you want to view and post items for sale, check the link in the description of this video and jump on the Wheels, Keels, and Snowmobiles Facebook group. You can post all you like there as long as it's something with a motor and it's in English. We have a lot of overseas people on here, which we welcome, but we do need things to be posted in English. And then there's also the Wheels, Keels, and Snowmobiles YouTube channel, for which I have placed a link in the description. I would love it if you drop by there and subscribe, because I do a lot of videos about cars, trucks, boats, ATVs, snowmobiles, and the like. So if you like that kind of content, that's the place for you. Jump on over there, click the link in the description, and subscribe. And yeah, if you've got anything you'd like me to put on here, whether it's a sled for sale or an event, some images of your vintage snowmobile, for now, just email them to me at vintagesnowmobilelovers@gmail.com, and I'll have them on the next podcast doing it that way until we can figure out a way to do this the way that I was originally wanting to, right there in the comment section. And I apologize. Glenn said he can't add pics either. So that's pretty much it. My voice is starting to go, so I'm going to sign off. But I thank you guys for joining me. I hope you guys can see the possibility here of having this technology now to do a live podcast on a regular basis, and the opportunity for us to share information and photos and sleds for sale, upcoming events, and anyone who has an interest in advertising something to a vintage snowmobile audience. I can put your message in front of 25,000 people with paid promotion every time we do this. It's a great way to get your product out. We can put banners up, we can put images, we can have you on here live via your smartphone, talking up your product. We can, if it's a product or a service, whatever it is you do, we can do a walk around tour of your shop with your cell phone. You can talk up your service or your product, whatever it is you're doing. We can do that as advertising on your for your business, and the rates are very reasonable. So if you're curious about any of that, or if you want to participate in this, for now, just send me an email. There's a link in the description. It's vintagesnowmobilelovers@gmail.com. And if I can get back to the page I was on, I'm going to sign off. But I thank you all for joining me tonight. And I hope to do something a little later in this week. I've got someone who I'm trying to schedule something with for maybe even early this week, maybe Monday or Tuesday night, to do a live tour of a restoration shop with some vintage snowmobiles that are in various stages of repair and restoration. So keep a close eye on this Vintage Snowmobile Lovers Facebook page, because we got some really cool stuff on the horizon. I'm planning to have a really nice winter, a really exciting winter for all of us, with some cool content and some really good engagement by people sharing information and images and what am I trying to say? Details about upcoming vintage snowmobile shows and things like that. So thank you so much, guys. Have yourself a wonderful evening, and we'll catch you on the other side. Oh, hi, Peter. Yes, have a good one, guys. Take care.